he's the person in charge of covering Germany with Tesla Superstar stations, and you were all invited, other than having a nice concert at our home, to test the Tesla S and the Tesla Roadsters to accelerate you from 0 to 100 kilometers in 3.7 seconds after this event. Thank you, Thomas.
I have to correct you, it's 3.2 seconds. with the new Model S D, which has been announced, I think, a week ago. It's unbelievable. It's a four-wheel drive, and it's really now 0 to 100 in 3.2. It's amazing. It has three steps. It's normal, it's sport, and insane. And it's insane. And the other thing I need to correct, you said you want heaven on earth is you have a German car. No, it's probably the Tesla. It's an American car by now. I think they're the benchmark. And I hope, pardon me? So, lots of Mercedes-Benz, they just sold their shares, as you know, but actually it's the other way around. Mercedes has lots of Tesla parts in their Smart and B-Class, which will be announced today. Actually, the B-Class electric will be announced. I know that because we're a partner to Daimler also. So it's going to be electric, that's for sure. This world is happening. So I'm very much convinced that all the predictions that we saw this morning, yes, they are true. Global warming is there, but I see a very, very bright future. To be frank, it's going to be electric. It's going to be clean. It's going to be safe, and it's going to be much more fun. So having this is not a threat. It's actually an opportunity to all of us. And I'm sure that there are business models that where we can make a lot of money. We're trying that. And you see that here. It's all about storage, because it will be a renewable world. Germany is a good example. A lot of complaints about Energiewende here. A lot of complaints about the photovoltaic and wind, solar, and wind power stations in Germany. I think this is all, sorry, bullshit. I think we have too little of them, and we can afford much more. The only thing that we need is storage. And that's the very good news for us, because we are trying to provide the storage, not just in the form of hydropower stations in Austria. I'm Austrian, so we earned a lot of money on that the last years, centuries maybe. But I think some other kind of storage will take over that. And part of that is, I'm an electrical engineer. This nice little thing here, it's an electric car, because there is a storage capacity in the car that we can use, so to say, free of charge to provide this service. I don't want to get into that too much. There are a couple of drivers towards this new industry, but one of them is for sure the battery technology. And what we have seen so far, I'm coming from Siemens, so I've seen lots of technology changes, some we missed, some we didn't. But battery technology definitely is a technology that is improving so fast. We are also dealing and doing lots of business with Tesla. And the battery prices that we get today for stationary storage capacities are unbelievable. We talk about $350 a kilowatt hour. Today, probably you know figures around 1,000, 1,500. So they're dropping very, very fast, and this is definitely not the end of it. With this kind of battery technologies and prices that we see today, we are competitive, as Jochen said before, today with solar panels on the roof, stationary batteries in your garage, and you have a more than competitive power supply in your house, even for some industrial applications. And we talk about today, we don't talk about 20 years from now. All the rest, of course, you know, customer behaviors, people don't like to own cars, no parking is a problem, cost of raw materials, local pollution, it's ridiculous. I saw a picture of Beijing marathon last week, and these guys, they run a marathon with gas masks. It's absurd. Yeah, I think it's absurd what we do, polluting our cities and still putting more traffic into that. So what are we doing? Casper knows that. We have a lot of debates in our board, and I think we have one of the best boards that I can think of. Sometimes I say it's even better than the board of Siemens, because we have brilliant minds in there and we have visionaries in there, and this is what we need, because it's not clear where this market is going yet. and we sometimes also don't know the answers where we're going, but we are on a journey moving towards what we call Internet of Storage. And just like the Internet of Things, which I didn't understand a couple of years ago, what are they talking about? Now I understand it's traffic between machines. My Tesla probably is talking to my charging unit right now while I speak here, so I have nothing to do with that. And I think the same thing will happen to the storage capacities, because it's going to be decentralized, it's going to be smart, and we have been choosing on purpose the vehicles, the electric vehicles, knowing that it will take a time until there will be enough cars on the road to provide a swarm of battery capacities to do services and to provide services for the energy world. This is what we do. So we will become a storage company. In between, we have to build in a step which we called stationary storage, as to bridge the capacity and the demands from the power supplies and the legislation in order to provide at least 5 megawatts in Germany in order to participate in those markets. So we are right now, while we're talking, installing stationary battery packs to back them up with battery packs from cars in order to provide services to the energy world. What is important here is that we have to get to a stage where we have a portfolio, a sizable portfolio soon, because, as I said, the renewable power stations come, they are online, and we need quick storage solutions. I'll show you in a minute what exactly I'm talking about and how much money is in there. So the vision, he's challenging me, Jochen. We definitely can provide free of charge power for the car, not yet a Tesla. Just like when you have your mobile phone, you probably get an i6, not free of charge, but for a little amount of money. The same thing I'm sure will happen to the car. So if you buy the car, get the service from us, we can give you a discount on the car because we can generate value out of the battery pack. That's the idea. We are very proud on this list, actually, because Landgrab is very successful so far. If you buy an i3 today or a Smart or a B-Class from tomorrow or S-Class, whatever, so you will be our customer because we provide the infrastructure service and we connect the car to the grid. This is step one. Before we can create the value, we need to get the car connected. This is what we do for Daimler, Renault. All of them are actually our customers today in I think 19 countries. In Europe, we are very much European based. We are not thinking today of going into other continents. That's not true. The US is on the agenda because of Tesla. As I said, if you look at these screens, some of them, who drives an electric car? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next year, probably half the hands should be raised because it's the better technology, cheaper, better, more efficient, and more fun. Do you agree? So if you buy an i3, for example, this is a skin that we have developed for BMW. So this is a dealer portal, as we call it. And this dealer portal, we guide the customer and the dealer through the process of installing the car to your house and to your garage. This comes from Mobility House, same thing for Daimler and other OEMs. That's just a snapshot of the current business, but now, as I said, let's talk about the storage. We actually connect two worlds. The automotive world, on one hand, they have the obligation of getting the 95 gram in 2020. This is a big hassle for them. They need to get the fleet average below 95, which they can't do with combustion engines. As conventional technology will not be good enough to reach that goals. They have a big problem with people like my daughter. She's studying now in Vienna. One is studying in Oslo. They don't want their own cars. They want car sharing solutions. So the number of cars that are sold are going down. A lot of challenges, believe me, for the OEMs. So electrification really here is the answer, and the connectivity, again, Tesla is a good example. I mean, the upgrades are coming overnight. You don't go into the garage. You don't want to bother with updates on navigation systems and displays like that. This is all rubbish. This is all old world. Sorry, maybe I offend some people here. This is one part of the business that we address, and the other part is definitely the utilities business. This is actually the part where we come from. We have been serving for the RWEs and Eons, and the share price, I think, says it all. And I would not buy RWE shares still today, even though they're on a very, very low level. This is not just because of RWE, but the business model is definitely dead. So they have to deal with this renewable stuff. They have to deal with the volatility in the grid. So they need storage. And this is exactly what the Mobility House does. We combine those two worlds. We provide storage capacity for the utility industry by using cars. How do we do that? Here's an example of, believe it or not, these are 9 smarts. These are 9 cars with 22 kilowatt chargers. This is a 32 amps, a European system. So we take some 9 cars and this is a C1 factor, means how fast you can get the power in and out of the car. But this is a standard technology that a Tesla battery or a smart battery today have. And we provide services, in this case, into the frequency market and peak shaving. But there are other applications also. But for this case that you see, we choose, because the market circumstances were good in this segments, frequency response and peak shaving. If we do this, let's say, stupid or not intelligent, we would end up with this result. The red areas, I don't want to drag you to a very complex chart, but the red areas would show the problems that we would occur because we obviously have to provide certain capacities at any time. So we would run into trouble at certain times over the year. And number 2, this is the red arrow here. We would charge and uncharge the battery quite substantially, which is not good for the lifetime. So that's why we have developed an algorithm to smartly do the same exercise. And this is the result. You see, we provide the same service here, and we don't run into dips in the sense of we can always guarantee the capacity that we have to in front of the regulator. I mean, never forget, we're talking about 9 smarts only, not 9,000, not 900,000, so a relatively little number. And the good news is, on the bar below, the state of charge we don't even touch. So we kind of notice the state of charge that is best for the battery. We take it and we are varying around 5 to 10%, maximum 20% out of in this state of charge level. So you as a customer don't even notice that we are providing this service. If the battery doesn't age, and we earn, and this is what is shown here, 30,000 euro a year. So we're coming close to the free Tesla. Not yet. So if you break this down to a car or value per car, then we talk about these figures. This again is an example of a 22 kilowatt, which is a good battery, by the way, because of the C1 factor. We can easily get power out and in. That's important. Then we could earn with this car around 3,500, 4,000 euros a year. That's a lot of money. Over 8 years, which is 50% of the battery cost today. Now, assuming that the battery costs will come down drastically in the next year, we probably can compensate the cost of battery. And now we have to go back. This is why we do this business model together with the OEMs. We might go to Daimler and say, look, you either sell the Tesla for whatever it is, 100,000, or you sell it for 50,000 and you sign a contract for 8 years and the Tesla is only 50,000. And the rest is then kind of a deal between customer, mobility house, and the OEM. This is what we do. So you have stolen my last picture. The Stone Age indeed didn't end because of lack of stones. It ended because there was a better technology, and the same thing will happen here. And I think I very much liked your presentation this morning. And one guy said, we are not running out of resources. The only resource we run out is time. And I think this is very true.
I'm charging my battery by buying power from the utility. I'm then discharging the power that I've bought back into the utility and getting paid for it. Why am I making money on that transaction when I'm buying from whom I'm selling to?
That wouldn't work.
What am I missing?
That wouldn't work, of course.
Right.
You would not, if you do it just the way you do it today, there is no business model, but since the volatility, particularly in the German market, is so high, there are 15 minutes or moments in the grid where you shouldn't charge a car because we have too much power or we have less power. So you as a customer want it to be full in the morning at 7 o'clock, and there are times where, believe it or not, we have negative energy prices. So you get paid if you take power. So these are the times when we take the power, get paid by taking power, fill in your battery, and we make the money, and we provide you with free of charge electricity. This can be like today. Weather forecasts are good today, but regional weather forecasts, also clouds and wind predictions are not so good today, and this is what we use. So the 15-minute market, the frequency stability market, is one of the markets where we can earn more money on intelligently charge the car without emptying your battery.
So does this then depend upon time of day pricing by the utility?
It depends on many things. Time of day pricing, it very much depends on the tariff at home. When we talk about fleets, we can swap between members of the fleet, so you can't do this on your own, but you definitely can do it if you have your own consumption, your own photovoltaic on the house, so it's sun to vehicle, vehicle to home, that kind of stuff. So it's not just I connect the car and provide stupid energy to the house. This is not what we're talking.
The future, the near, immediate future. So there is something called a digital Europe. To what extent that's going to sort of support your business actually to get the payback, sooner or higher margin? Thank you.
I'm afraid I offend some more people in this room, but I don't believe in that. Frankly, we've been to Brussels 2 weeks ago, and we met Mr. Oettinger, the new guy in charge for Digital Europe. And he quoted, and I couldn't keep back, that we have too much of renewable power in Europe already. I think this is rubbish. I think we have too little. So Digital Europe, what we need are smart solutions within fleets or house and fleet. This is what we need. We don't need a digital world. What we need to know is where is energy? Where are we causing problems, and where do we need energy? So it's the balancing between demand and supply. Believe it or not, today in Germany we could fulfill the peak demand with renewable energy already. So we have more capacity installed. We don't even need a single power plant to do that. There is enough capacity installed in Germany, renewable capacity installed in Germany today, which is causing a huge problem because the nukes are on, the brown coal sites are still on, so they cause problems. So the answer is not the Digital Europe, is a smarter way of kind of taking the energy that we have and filling it into batteries that we already paid because he paid his Tesla. So the battery is there. Marginal cost, zero.
How do you see, in a lot of cities, you see a lot of car sharing, which you mentioned. And this car sharing actually means that you have a lot of small cars. It's not like the Tesla S, the big cars. It's really small cars with small batteries. And which means that the capacity certainly is much smaller, which is available. You would have to use much more loading cycles, I guess. And then the losses may be higher.
The example you saw is a smart with a 22 kilowatt battery. This is the lower size of a battery. Batteries will become bigger. The next i3 that will come out next year will increase the distance from 180 or 150 theoretical down up to 300. So batteries will become bigger. Not necessarily size, the capacity will be bigger in the same size. If you have a Roadster, they have 300 kilometers range today in. They can fit in 600 kilometers in the same compartment. So batteries will become bigger. And this is what I showed you. We are not filling and emptying the battery from 0 to 100. We are working. Our working bar is between 65 and 85% state of charge. That's nothing. So aging of a battery by filling a battery between 65 and 85%, is not causing any effect to the battery at all. This, we do another project, sorry if I may add that, we are doing a Second Life project with Daimler. So when cars come back, we give them a second life because they're still good for this service. So we get another battery capacity, again free of charge, putting them on racks into stationary applications without investment. So my battery, my Tesla, will definitely live longer than I will.
Right. Sorry, maybe my question was not clear. The fact that the trend may go, especially in cities, to more shared cars, could also result in a result that the batteries will be smaller, not bigger, because within the city the distances are so short. And because the cars maybe will be put back to the stations, you don't need huge capacities because you do not need like 600 kilometers, because the average distance within the cities are only a few kilometers, right? So you may easily have live on a 50-kilometer range battery.
Well, the market has shown this, it's true. The average distance is 19 kilometers. It's 19, not 90. So we don't need these big batteries. But still, people don't buy the cars. They expect 300 kilometers. That's evidence by now. All the car manufacturers have undergone, unfortunately for some, this fact. So the batteries will have at least 22 to 30 kilowatt hours, all of the manufacturers. So the good news is we talk about capacity and we talk about power, charging power. So we are working on more on how fast can we get out the energy from the battery. So this is the called C factor, capacity towards how much kilowatt, not kilowatt hours, I can take out. So today we have a battery technology of 1, like 22 kilowatt hours we can charge and uncharge with in 1 hour. That's C is 1, charge discharging. So we will be there. We will be at C factor 2 pretty soon. Actually, with the new lithium-ion technology that is in the Tesla and in the Smart, C factor of 0.5 is possible, which would give us which double the capacity in our market. And we're not talking about lots of believe me, 9 Smarts can earn this amount of money. So if you have 900 or 900,000 one day, we would not probably touch. Then we will have a different problem. We will have too much cars for that service, but when we're there, I think we're all rich.
Theoretical one. If all cars in Germany are electric cars, tomorrow,
yes.
What would happen with electricity demand? How it will change from current level?
What do you think?
Double? I don't know.
Double? What double? You mean double as many power plants as we have today? Or
yeah, no, I mean electricity consumption in Germany.
Yeah, okay.
What will happen?
I know the figures. So what do you think? Good guess? He's at 0, but it's not. It's 2%.
Not produced by power plants, but in total.
It's 2%. Believe it or not, it's 2%. It's nothing.
If all cars
are electric tomorrow, 2%. It's nothing.
How does it count?
Why is that? Because the capacity that we have, the problem today is that we do not utilize the power that we have. That's the biggest problem. We have by far too much energy in this country. This is kind of paradox. We have too much energy in the country. That causes problem. I'm talking Germany only, not Europe. Yeah. But in Germany, it's 2%. Not a single power plant.
Very impressive.
Very interesting. That's not true for China, by the way. I think you're going to be the benchmark.